Hello everyone and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we take a closer look at the toys we talk about on the show. And today, wrapping up our latest box of goodies from our friends at Bluefin Brands, we are taking a look at a pair of figures that I know a lot of people are excited for, myself included. We are taking a look at the Godzilla vs. Kong King Kong and the Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla. These are the latest two entries in the Tamashii Nations S.H Monsterarts line. These look gorgeous in the box. I cannot wait to get them out. But before we get them out, let's take a quick overview of what we have here on the box. So, of course, we have the S.H Monsterarts logo, in the Monsterverse logo here for these newer Godzilla films. We have really great artwork. I love the color splash behind everyone's favorite kaiju here. And we can see that this is the Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. This is actually the first time I have it in hand, but I was fortunate enough to see both of these figures on display at the Tamashii Nations pop-up store in New York City a little bit earlier this year. You can see a picture of that right here, maybe. Yeah, these are super cool. Continuing around to the back of the box, we get a nice window here. We can see Godzilla inside. And for collectors who do decide to leave these in box, you get a really great view of Godzilla there. You can actually see the tail is fully assembled, not like the Rathalos back there, Rathalos figure, which you had to do a little bit of assembly once you got it out. It seems like he is kind of all ready to go. And then much the same on the King Kong box. It's a much smaller box. Again, really nice window there. You can see Kong. You can see on the pictures here some of the positions and things that he comes with, his accessories. Of course, on the front we get all of the nice logos. We get the seal of authenticity, all of that good stuff. So let's pop these guys open. Let's get them in the light box, and let's take a closer look at King Kong and Godzilla. Alright, and here we are. We have Godzilla and we have King Kong out of the package, and these are immediately super fun. We are going to actually start with Godzilla. So Godzilla, first and foremost, his accessories. Godzilla does not come with a whole lot, and what we get is interchangeable hands. So I have one of each kind on currently, but you do get an additional grippy, like open claw hand, and then a more closed hand there for Godzilla, and they simply just pop on and off, very simply. I would actually say that before we dive into the figure itself, my only real nitpick with this figure is that he doesn't come with any accessories. And I know you're thinking, Godzilla, what accessories could he come with? But it would be awesome if he came with like a flame effect, something from an energy effect of some kind, something coming out of his mouth would be fantastic to complement an already great figure. So let's actually get into Godzilla himself here. So this guy is on the surface, a really simple figure. So paint apps are pretty straightforward. Along with the detail, there's a little bit of brown, spread into kind of his stomach area here, but otherwise he is kind of just a matte, dark gray, almost black color, with this really great paint application of a metallic blue throughout the spines across his back, as well as in his mouth. Both his mouth and his tongue here, as you can see, have that same metallic blue shine to it, which is really nice. And he has little tiny dots for eyes that are also treated with that metallic finish. Moving into his articulation, he does everything that you would expect Godzilla to be able to do. He has what we've seen before kind of in the Monsterarts line, this multiple scaled tail. Really, really solid. You can bend it pretty much to the point where you can feel that it won't bend anymore without it giving. There aren't pieces of it that are going to start flying away on you. It's really solid. You get some really nice bend down as well as up out of it. It also, of course, helps him stand, you know, so it really does kind of give you the freedom to kind of put him in whatever position you want, because no matter what you do, that tail is going to make sure that he doesn't fall over in any way. Moving up into his body, he does have multiple sections of torso articulation. So we do have a lower torso, we do have an upper torso, we have ball joints at the arms. Not a whole lot of arm articulation, as you can see. I mean, he can rotate his arms up, he can rotate his arms down and back. He does have double jointed elbows, so you know those claws can go up pretty far. You know, you can get some pretty good emotion out of the claws, the arms. He does have ball joints at the wrists, so you do get the swivel and pivot in the hands. You know, in terms of that crunch, you know, he gets down about that far, and he can look straight up, you know, moving too with the neck articulation there. I'm sorry, he's out of camera there. He's a little tall, but he can look straight up, which is really nice. So you can get him into all the iconic poses. One of the things that you do have to be careful with when you're posing him, I'm gonna see if I can get it to come across here on camera. There you go. So you can kind of see that there are parts, like right there in his tail, like where his tail meets his hips, where depending on how you have him articulated, you will get gaps that go straight through him. So if you are using him for photography, you want to be very cognizant of that when you're posing. The first time I tried to pose him with anything, the background, I was seeing straight through. There you go. You can see it really, really there. I was staring at a weird color, and I thought it was a speck on my camera, and it was actually you know, a look straight through his body. So just something to be aware of. It's by no means is it a deal breaker or something that ruins this figure in any way. It's just something that you need to be aware of. As I mentioned with the face here, there is articulation in the jaw. So you can open his mouth, and his tongue does this really cool thing where when you open his mouth, it actually looks like the tongue kind of moves out a little bit. There's a little bit of movement to the tongue and how it kind of like tucks itself away, which is really nice. And again, you know, the head articulation is great. He can shift his head, you know, in both directions. Really nice, really natural movement. Legs, we do have double jointed knees, which I think is hilarious, because I mean, you're not really gonna get double jointed movement really out of them. It moves the way that Godzilla would move. And then you do get a little bit of swivel and a little bit of pivot from the feet. Again, I mean, it's not like you have Godzilla doing karate kicks or anything. So it's, you know, he does exactly what you'd expect, moves exactly the way that you would expect Godzilla to move. Now, the real kind of gem of these two figures for me, as awesome as Godzilla is King Kong. So as you can see, I have him in like an ape pose, and part of his accessory set is he does come with like gorilla hands. So you can pose him as a 1/12 scale gorilla, and just real quick without, you know, just so I can show you. I mean, here he is next to next to an S.H. Figuarts Goku, and you can see that it's a 1/12 scale gorilla at the end of the day. So like, yeah, it's King Kong. The detail and the articulation and everything great on it, and we'll get into all that in a moment. But if you just want a really cool, fully articulated 1/12 scale gorilla for your collection, this is a really good choice. I mean, he scales well, and he gets down really well into that gorilla pose, and just looks like a really cool gorilla. So, you know, something else to consider for you know, for collectors out there. It's a great looking gorilla figure, and I mean, as you can see, the paint and detail across it is fantastic. The way that they have the hair detailed, the musculature, you know, everything. It's just this is a great gorilla figure. So let's get into his accessories, because whereas Godzilla came with just hands, he comes with quite a few. So you of course do get a different head sculpt with him. So you get the angry face head sculpt, which is fantastic. Really great detail, painting on the teeth, all the way. I don't know if you can really see in there, but he even has the back row of his teeth, like the teeth towards the back of his mouth. Everything's painted. The eyes are painted lovely. You know, everything really nice and tight there. And then you do get a series of hands. So you get the walking knuckled hands that you see on him there that we showed. You get open hands, fully flat open hands. Again, great detail across, you know, with the way that the hands are painted. You get 2 fists. Of course, you need fists for Kong. And then you get 2 grippy hands that are meant to hold his axe. His core Earth axe, right? His core world, from his ancestors. So you get the really cool axe, and again, really great detail painted on the axe. Same kind of metallic blue, a little bit of a darker color, but you know, similar treatment there with the silver and the blue. The bone part of the axe looks really great. You know, it looks like a bone. Yeah, and as you can see, the hand grips it really well. I left the hand on there, as I tend to do with S.H. Figure Arts figures that have you know, handheld things. I tend to just leave one on there. It's just easier. And in terms of Kong himself, so let me stand him up here and let's actually pop on his other head, and we'll kind of put him into battle mode here. But he comes apart and goes back together extremely easily. You know, I have no problem swap. I've been, you know, playing with this now for a little bit, and you know, no problem swapping things in and out. Let's just give him another fist. So, you know, he and then he immediately goes from that crouched over position into a standing one. There's no issue with the joint tightness or anything. And as you can see, the 2 of them, you know, scaled next to each other. You know, it looks really nice. You know, it's a nice combo to have the 2 of them there. Yeah, this is a great Kong figure. So into the articulation for him, again, there is a ton. So we do have you know, the ability to rotate his head. We have neck articulation there, so the neck actually moves up and allows Kong to look about that far up as well as that far down. I mean, obviously his chin kind of gets in the way there, but you know, he has a substantial ab crunch, so you know, he can look all the way down as well as being able to look all the way up, so his back arches a substantial amount. His arms, we do have butterfly ball joints, so you know, the arms do go back pretty far. We have a bicep swivel there. We have a double jointed elbow, and again, the paint and detail on the figure carries through into the bottom of the joints, which I love about these figures, so you don't lose anything there. He doesn't really have a lower waist swivel. It's kind of there, but not a whole lot. But you can twist, because he does twist at the upper part here as well. He moving into the legs, Kong can do the splits, which is incredible, as you can see there. And then he does have double jointed knees, and he has like a triple joint here at the bottom, so below the knee. So if you count the double jointed knee, he has a joint like above the ankle, and then the actual ankle, as well as the ability to rock at the foot and pivot. So really quite a bit of articulation out of him. Very sturdy figure, really easy to pose and stand and kind of lock into a pose with really minimal effort. Great pair of figures. Really, they really do a great job of capturing the way that they look in these new movies. Let's see how they look with some other figures. So NECA Kong, again, 7-inch scale figure versus, you know, a 112 scale figure, and he's a big guy for even a 7-inch figure. So you can see he flat out towers. He's out of frame. So move this up to keep up with him here. He is out of frame on our S.H. Figure Arts Kong. But again, this is more of the 1933 look versus the modern look on Kong. So we have our S.H. Figure Arts Godzilla, and here's how he looks. I don't have a modern NECA Godzilla, but the height is actually pretty comparable. They're not too far off from each other. You know, the NECA Kong and the NECA Godzilla and the S.H. Figure Arts one. So I mean, you could definitely have some vintage versus modern battles between your two Godzillas. They you know, they face off pretty well there. You know, it's a good looking pair. So that definitely works, which of course means that if you wanted to use you know, the modern Kong, could definitely take on the vintage Godzilla there, you know, without any problems. But to give you an idea of how that stacks up against Kong and the S.H. Monsterarts Godzilla, this is the three of them together. You can see it's quite a height difference. The Rathalos is a big boy. Yeah, he is up on a stand, so he has a couple of inches, but you know, it's a nice looking pair. Addition to the line, it's a great line so far. And then you already saw Goku with the figures, but I figure we'll do one more Tamashii Nations Bluefin comparison here. So let me pull the Rathalos out. The Gundam Gundam Wing figure here from their Gundam Universe line, and you can see, you know, if you want some kaiju hunting action, if you want the Gundam to go up against them, it's definitely something that you can do because he scales pretty well with them as well. So with that, let's flip it back around and let's wrap this up. All right, so there you have it. There is Godzilla and King Kong out of the box. These are another two winners for the S.H. Monsterarts line for Tamashii Nations. They did a great job with these, between the paint, the detail. These are super sturdy too, as you saw in the light box. I really appreciate that. There's, you know, we don't have nothing wants to fall apart. They feel very well put together. I cannot wait to take some more photos of these guys. I gotta set up something a little bit different so that way I can get some fun action shots with really the two of them in there. But these are currently available on Amazon. We'll include links to them below in the description. A big thanks again to our friends at Bluefin Brands for giving us an advanced look at these figures and sending these out a little bit early. We really appreciate it. These are fantastic, and we love the opportunity to give you guys a chance to see these in hand and really see what they can do. So thank you again to our friends at Bluefin Brands. Make sure you're following them on their social media at Bluefin Brands on Instagram and Twitter, but also on their YouTube channel, Bluefin Video. Every Friday they do a really cool live stream with the guys at Bluefin, and they do giveaways and they have topics and they play games and stuff. So we'll include a link to that in the description below as well. So please make sure that you check out their videos. And while you're subscribing to things, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there so that way you don't miss videos like this where we take a deeper dive into the toys that we love. While you're down there, hit that bell icon so that way you get notifications when we post a video and you don't miss anything. While you're liking and following and subscribing to things, make sure that you follow us here at AIC_podcast on Instagram and Twitter, where we're constantly posting toy news, toy videos, all the fun things going on within the toy community. And of course, where it all started, the podcast. So Adventures in Collecting Podcast, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, simply by searching for Adventures in Collecting or hitting the link in the description below, which will take you to our website, and you'll find links to all of the things that we just mentioned. Stay tuned after the transition for some additional photos here of Godzilla and Kong, and as always, until next time.